Once upon a time, in a land filled with sunshine, rolling hills, and captivating stories whispered on the wind, a little boy named Josiah, barely old enough to understand the weight of responsibility, unexpectedly became king. He was only 8 years old, a tender age for such a monumental role. Imagine that, a king who might still need help tying his sandals in the morning. A king who was still learning and growing just like any other child. But Josiah was no ordinary boy. He possessed a heart that yearned to do what was right, a spirit that burned with a desire for justice and goodness. More than anything, he wanted to love God with every fiber of his being, to dedicate his life to serving the divine. Sadly, the land of Judah was in deep trouble, shrouded in darkness and despair. The people had strayed from their faith, tragically forgetting the one true God who had always watched over them. They had turned to false idols, crafting pretend gods out of wood and stone, placing their faith in empty promises. Josiah knew in his heart that he didn't want to follow in the footsteps of the kings who came before him, kings who had led the people astray. He yearned to follow God with his whole heart, with unwavering devotion and boundless enthusiasm. He wanted to be just like King David, a man known for his unwavering faith and his deep connection with God. He looked around and saw the pretend gods, the elaborate altars, and the places where people gathered to pray to these lifeless figures. Looking at the state of his kingdom, he knew deep down that it wasn't right, that something had to change. "We need to fix this," he declared with unwavering conviction. "We need to find our way back to the God who loves us unconditionally," he thought, his mind racing with ideas. And so, Josiah, the boy king with a heart of gold, began a great adventure, a quest to restore faith and hope to his troubled land. This wasn't an adventure to find glittering treasure or amass worldly riches, but a journey to help his country remember the one true God, the source of all goodness and strength. He wanted to lead everyone back, to guide them towards the light. He wanted to bring them back to the God who made them with love and cared for them with unwavering devotion. Josiah, being so young, didn't know exactly how to accomplish this monumental task, but his heart was pointed firmly in the right direction, guided by an unwavering moral compass. He was ready to lead his people back to God, to show them the path to righteousness and salvation. Even as a boy, so young and seemingly inexperienced, Josiah's heart was brave and true, filled with courage and unwavering conviction. He looked at the mess around him, the broken idols and the crumbling temples, and decided, with unwavering determination, to make a change, to restore his kingdom to its former glory. He wanted his kingdom to love God again, to embrace faith and righteousness once more. Josiah's story was just beginning, a tale of courage, faith, and the power of a young heart. He would show everyone, young and old, that even a child can lead with wisdom and grace, with a heart full of love, compassion, and unwavering faith. The adventure to bring his people back to God had begun, a journey filled with challenges and triumphs. Josiah's heart was like a compass, a guiding force that always pointed him towards truth and righteousness, always pointing to what was right, just, and pleasing in the eyes of God. He was determined to make a difference, to leave a lasting impact on his kingdom and its people. And so, the boy king, with unwavering faith and a heart full of love, set out to change his world, one step at a time. As Josiah grew older and wiser, he began to understand the great responsibility he had inherited as king. He decided to embark on a vital mission, to fix God's house, the temple in Jerusalem, which had fallen into disrepair over the years. Workers diligently cleaned and repaired the sacred structure, restoring its former glory, and while sweeping away the dust and debris of the past, they stumbled upon something truly amazing, a long-lost scroll hidden away in a forgotten corner. It wasn't gold or jewels, the kind of treasure that kings often seek, but something far more valuable. God's book, the book of the law, containing the very words of the Almighty. The priest Hilkiah, recognizing the importance of the discovery, carefully gave the scroll to Shaphan, Josiah's trusted helper and scribe. Shaphan, eager to understand the contents, read the words and, realizing their significance, hurried through the palace corridors to show the king. With anticipation, he unrolled the ancient scroll and began to read God's sacred words out loud to Josiah, sharing the long-forgotten laws and commandments. The room grew silent, the weight of the words hanging heavy in the air as everyone listened intently. These weren't just old stories from a distant past. This was God speaking directly to them, offering guidance and a path towards righteousness. For years the people had wandered in darkness, lost in their own ways and forgetting the teachings of their ancestors. Now, it was as if a bright light had suddenly been switched on, illuminating the truth and dispelling the shadows of ignorance. God's words filled the air, bringing not only hope but also a profound sense of truth and a renewed understanding of their purpose. Josiah, deeply moved by what he heard, realized with great sorrow how far his people had strayed from God's path. The lost book, once hidden and forgotten, was now revealed as a priceless treasure, showing them the clear and unwavering way back to God and His loving embrace. Everything was about to change, as a new chapter in their history began to unfold. As Josiah listened, tears rolled down his cheeks. The words warned of sadness if the people turned from God, and Josiah knew they had. His heart broke, and he tore his clothes to show his sorrow. "We are in trouble! We haven't listened to God!" he cried. Josiah sent his friends to ask the wise woman Huldah what God would say. Huldah's message was sad, but there was hope for Josiah. God saw Josiah's soft, humble heart and promised him peace. Josiah's sorrow showed true love for God. God cared more about Josiah's heart than his torn robe. Josiah's repentance brought hope to his people. Josiah didn't just feel sad, he acted. He gathered everyone and read God's book aloud. Then he led a giant cleanup, destroying all the pretend gods and altars. Josiah made sure there was no place left for false worship. He cleared the way for everyone to find God again. It was hard work, but Josiah did it with all his heart. He made space for God's love to fill the land. After the long and arduous cleanup, a task that required immense effort, Josiah, filled with renewed faith, decided to throw a huge Passover party. It was a grand celebration to remember God's incredible rescue of their ancestors and His enduring love. The whole country wholeheartedly celebrated together, singing praises to the heavens and sharing the special Passover meal, a symbol of their freedom. For a while everyone loved and worshipped God together, united in faith, just like their king had hoped. But Josiah's story, unfortunately, had a sad and unexpected turn. He tragically died in battle, far too soon, and the people, sadly, soon forgot the important lessons he had taught them about faith and devotion. They shamefully returned to their old idolatrous ways, and just as God's sacred book had warned them, terrible trouble came upon the land. A powerful foreign army mercilessly destroyed Jerusalem and cruelly took the people away into exile, far from their homes. Yet Josiah's story, even with its tragic end, didn't end completely in darkness and despair. His unwavering love for God shone brightly, like a beacon of hope, in a dark and troubled world. One heart, filled with genuine love and devotion, truly can make a significant difference. Josiah's story is a forever story, a tale that echoes through time, a powerful reminder to always remember God's teachings and His enduring presence in our lives, and that's a story that is definitely worth remembering and cherishing.